This is episode 70 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
I'm Sam Cooper, and here we are on the 1st of November.
Yes, we are back to normal service after promising for about 3 weeks to be back to normal service. We stopped lying to you all. We are back.
We're always on normal service.
Well,
that's the trick.
Nothing's quite normal for us, is it? But we have got a game for you. I say it's the first game under new points. It's one thing does make a difference, but yeah, it's a good game. It's myself versus Tony Cameron from Tin Squadron, and it's a bit of Empire versus Scum.
Yay! Two factions I don't really care about. Let's go.
Do you want to run through the Scum list? Sam?
Yeah, I'll run through the Scum. So we have the Mandalorian in the Razor Crest with Clan Training, Fearless, Fenrau Crew, the Child Crew, Contraband Cybernetics, and Mysterious Hidden Thing, which I'm guessing is probably Force Transponders from what I know of Tony.
You'd be guessing wrong.
Ooh, we have something spicy. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, it's real spicy.
We have Cad Bane in the Rogue class starship with Fearless, Ion Cannon, False Transponder Code, the Xanadu Blood title, Zuckuss Crew, and Ion Bombs. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Manaru in the Jumpmaster with Enduring, Garsax and Gunner, Overtuned Modulators, and the Punishing One title. And finally, Gamut Key in the Hawk with Cutthroat and Protectorate Gleb.
Do you know, I didn't click that Tony brought Enduring, and I don't think he remembered either, because that would have come in... that would have come in useful. Crits were done to Manaru.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so I thought I'm going to have a dash at the only faction I haven't played yet, which is the Empire. So I don't really know a huge amount. I played against it a little bit, but I decided to just scroll through Launch Bay next and look at some stuff that looked fun. I just wanted to try some different ships. So to that extent, when you're trying Empire for the first time and random ships, kind of got to bring Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So I brought X1 Vader, standard X1 Vader, and he's rocking Brilliant Evasion, Elusive, Pattern Analyzer, Fire Control System, and Afterburners.
So the standard shill, essentially.
Yeah, standard good Vader stuff. Pattern Analyzer is great, and I figured for him, Brilliant Evasion and Elusive just to keep him tanky, I suppose, or as tanky as you can be.
It makes sense.
I wanted to try the Reaper, so Vizier with Palp, kind of standard. Kind of wanted to try the Striker as well, so that I could see the difference between you may boost and you must boost. So I kind of had to scroll through. Well, that must boost does kind of make you think about it a little more than may. So I brought Pure Sabak, and Pure Sabak is running Elusive, BT1, and Seismic Charges.
Standard stuff.
And then I had 5 points left. I did think about just whacking a 5-point ship in, but I kind of wanted to go 5 because I like 5 ships. So I brought Gideon Haskin, the TIE Fighter, because I've not flown him yet. Slight error here. So he is rocking Elusive, Disciplined, and Cluster Missiles.
Okay.
There's 2 reasons why he's rocking that. Because he was in another list that I was building that had thread tracers, which would allow him to acquire the lock for.
Well, you've got Disciplined.
And what I was going to do was actually drop Discipline and just put Targeting Computer on.
Yeah.
But I forgot to do that, so hey. And then I've got 2 points left, so I went with the Academy Pilot tie, thinking, a nice I1 possible blocker.
If it dies, you can trigger Disciplined.
Exactly. So,
sorry, when it dies.
When it dies. So we are playing Assault at the Satellite Array. And we've rolled off, and Tony's first player. So Tony puts one on his side, and he's put one For those watching on YouTube, as you're looking at it, it's the top right. So it's effectively 2 and 2 in the well, it's not quite 2 and 2. It's as far away as you can get in that bottom right corner. So I place on my side, and I actually place the left-hand one, and it's as far up as like you can basically get it. Because my plan here is, although Tony's got one medium and one large base compared to my one medium, if I can get a cluster of 3 and then stick a load of rocks around it, that kind of works in my favour.
Yeah.
Tony then puts on my side and basically puts it opposite his far corner one in my far corner. So we've got 2 corners on the right, basically. And I plonk on Tony, on my left on Tony's side as you're looking at it, as close range 2 as I can. So there's a nice little sort of triangle between the centre, the left, and the one on Tony's side there. And we move on to obstacles. I brought the 2 large debris from the Playa de Mandalore and a large rock, and Tony's brought 3 small. First thing he does is picks up the small rock and 2 and 2s it in the bottom corner just behind the objective he's placed there. So I get the largest debris and I place that in the middle of those 3 objectives so that basically he can't sit either Manaru or the Mando in there and claim all 3.
Prime Vulture Droid spot, that is.
That is prime vultures, but I wasn't playing against vultures, so... he then grabs my other debris and sticks it next to his far objective, basically getting rid of the large rocks. So I place the rock 2 and 2 in, as I'm looking at it, top left corner, just behind an objective, because I could just sneak it in there, to start trying to create a little group, sorry. Tony places a rock. It's basically halfway in between the centre objective and the objective on the bottom right-hand side in a direct line. So just sort of following that across the board. So I place the last small obstacle basically on Tony's board edge in the centre and just a little further in from the range 2. Basically trying to make difficult lanes for Manaru and Mando to go through.
Yep, makes sense. And to anyone who didn't want to listen to all of that, essentially the rocks are... you've started writing the letter Z, but stopped when you finished the second line. Going from top right. So you did a line along the top, and then you went down diagonally across the board, and then you got bored and stopped. And that is essentially how the rocks have ended up.
So we go to placement. We overlap on 3 and 4. But I have a 1. So I
set a 2.
And a 2. So I set my TIE fighter up. And I'm actually just going to move so that the video is where I actually set it up, not what I've done on the first maneuver.
I did wonder, as like, yes, and the TIE fighter has deployed halfway up the board. Excellent. Han Solo in a TIE fighter.
So I set the TIE fighter up a third of the way towards my right-hand side. It's basically directly below and left of the objective down there that's got the rock next to it, so that I can just slide or past the rock. I can either go to the right, or I can one hard to the left and probably claim it turn 2. But what I want the engagement to happen around the triangle that I was talking about earlier. Because it's more difficult. There's more difficult lanes there for the larger ships. So my thinking was generally go probably 2 straight turn 1, hard 1 turn 2, claim that, and then 3 bank in on the next turn.
Yeah.
So to that extent, Vizier gets set up just to the left, but facing my left, so that if I want to, I can 1 bank ailerons and then 1 bank, 1 hard, 2 hard if I want to stress. There are choices. And then we go to the 3s. and we don't overlap on 3s. Ignore me. We only overlap on 4. Tony sets up Mando.
Anaru.
Manaru. I mean, he might have
There you go, Minty. There's your card.
He might have set up Mando. He sets up Manaru as he's looking at it just to the left of his centre line, facing to the right, so that it can turn left, because we all know it wants to. And then Gamut Key is behind about 3 ship, maybe 4 ship lengths back, facing the same direction to scoot along.
Basically just sliding along the edge of the board.
And then Tony sets up his first Saccad, who's just to the left of Gamut, as far forward as he can, and at a jaunty angle, because Tony likes jaunty angles for lining up bullseyes. And then I set up... who did I set up first? I set up Gideon first. Gideon's about halfway along the board edge, on the left-hand side, sort of a quarter of the way from the left edge. As far forward as you can. He's just to the right and below an objective that's just below the halfway line. So basically, TIE fighters are fast. It can shoot up there, get up there quite fast.
Yeah.
And then Sabat goes to the left of that, but as far back as you can, because with that aileron's 1 straight, it jumps forward. I wanted to sort of turn 2, have them roughly in the same place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then Tony does set up Mando, and sets up, as he's looking at it, his right board edge, right in the corner, facing along his board edge.
Facing towards Manaru and Gamut.
Which was interesting to me, because straight away I sensed a chance to kind of pounce here with Vader a little bit, because there's, with how fast Vader can go and with afterburners, there's not a unless Tony just yeets Manaru across, I can kind of take on Mando one-on-one, and if I call it right, because I'm moving afterwards, I can just dance around him. And like, the Hawk and Cad are going to struggle to keep up. Like, Cad can, but Cad's going to have to turn in because he's not facing that way. And I'm hoping by that point, I can bring the TIE Fighter and the Striker up as well. And then it's like, do you worry about Vader, who's rolling crits at you? Do you worry about Sabak, who, if it gets into range 1, is rolling 5 dice at you unless you start shooting her? So I wanted to kind of present those choices.
Yeah, no, see, that's interesting, because, I mean, I guess technically you could pounce, but I feel like if you 5 straight with Vader and Manaru does a 1 straight, next turn Manaru can be gone. Sorry, Manaru, the Mando can definitely be gone.
Yeah, like he could run away for sure. But I felt that doesn't lose me anything. Like, I can just turn.
That's true.
Turn Vader. Like, if he'd set up facing me, I think I would have been a lot more cautious. But the fact he's set up towards his border edge, along his board edge, makes it easier for me to, like, worst case scenario, 5 straight, and then 5 straight behind him. Okay, I might not have a shot, but then I'm nestled in behind him. So that was my thinking there. But let's crack on with it. And we roll off, and Tony's first player for turn 1. Heads up, Tony is first player a lot in this game.
Yeah. But it's alright. These are the turns that doesn't really matter.
So, my little academy does a 2 straight and evades. Vizier does a 1 bank ailerons, and then I check his card to make sure I'm doing it how I think I'm doing it. Oh no, I didn't aileron, ignore me, sorry. I just do the 1 bank. I decided not to aileron because I was slightly worried that with the medium base I'd get in front of the ties.
Yeah, I think you would have done.
Manaru just does a 1 straight. And takes focus. Gamut does a 1 bank to the left and takes the focus. And Cad does a 1 straight and cloaks.
Cloaks? Interesting. I like it.
Gideon does, I think that was a 3 straight and takes an evade. And then Striker 1 straight forward and I think a 2 straight and takes an evade, which leaves me basically the front of Sabak is in line with the back of Gideon. Just kind of close enough to where I want it.
Yeah.
Right, which I'm fine. And then Mando, when he gets to it, stops.
That's interesting.
Now, see, I'm there thinking, right, I've done a 5 straight with Vader. He's stopped, which means he's not stopping next turn. If he's hard turning in, he's not getting an action.
Short of contraband, right?
Well, I mean, okay, he has got a contraband, and I may have forgotten about it at the time. I get trigger happy, you know that. So, should we do the spoilers now? The hidden card under the Razor Crest is no card at all.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, Tony forgot to do one.
So that means you knew he'd forgot to do one because
not at this point.
Okay, because technically he has to say.
No, he did about halfway through the game. But just so people aren't waiting for that reveal.
There is no reveal. That is ultimate mind games, though.
I accidentally delete my dial for Vader, so we just have to quickly knock up another one.
All right, yeah, we're top professional quality here, aren't we?
So I do the 5 straight and take the focus. I did consider an after bonus boost there to give me a bit more leeway, but I felt it might be unnecessarily burning one too early.
Yeah, that's fair.
So we go into turn 2. So my Academy tie is going to do a 1 hard and try and claim that objective. Or worst case scenario, contest it with Cad so that Cad's not claiming it. Because I fully expect Cad to decloak forward and then shoot forward with his fastest blue.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Because to me, your TIE fighter is perfectly jumpable on, especially for someone like Cad.
But I'm like, if I can, not even if I can claim 2 objectives, but if I can contest 2 objectives and deny 2 points, I've effectively done his job.
Yeah.
But I kind of, because Mando stops, I want to see if I can kind of jump on him a little bit, I suppose. And just make it so he's not as aggressive because he's taken damage. Also, if I can if I could strip some shields and maybe plink a damage through from Vader and Sabak, considering that's a 4 and 3 dice shot, unless I get to range 1, then it's more. Then Gideon's going to get his extra dice as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, can't remember if you mentioned this. Who are the Relentless Pursuers?
Yes. So, one goes on Vader.
Uh-huh.
Because it just frees up the, spending a lock. I'm just going to get it back. And I put one onto Sabak.
I would have put it onto Hask.
Yeah, in hindsight, maybe that would have been the better deal.
Although, admittedly, the only reason I say that is just because you need the lock for those cluster missiles. Sabak is probably perfectly good for it, though.
Well, if I remember rightly, I don't think the Striker has a native lock.
That's also true.
Which is why I put it there, so that she has a way of acquiring locks. Okay, so yeah, that's the plan. Anyway, so let's just run through this.
We see what shenanigans happens.
So we roll off, and Tony is first player for turn 2. So I do my little 1 hard, and I take an evade with the Academy.
Yeah.
Then he remembers that he wants to decloak, Because we went through the system
yes.
phase and said, oh, no system phase.
And then he's like, wait, actually, system phase.
Yeah. But hey, I was feeling generous.
I mean, this wasn't like a hyper-competitive game. So...
It could have been. So, Vizier does...
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But it could have been. So, Vizier...
But it wasn't.
I'm not going to get into this argument with you.
But it's a fun one.
Namely, because I could just edit your "it wasn't" out of the podcast. But anyway, Vizier does his ailerons and then coordinates Gideon a barrel roll because Gideon couldn't go straight without going through that debris.
Makes sense.
Then does a one bank to the right, looking to kind of get in on that center objective, which doesn't really look like it's going to be contested. And I didn't see a way of basically getting him past the debris to get a shot on Mando, so yeah. So I think it does Cad first, who does a one bank to the right, and I believe coordinates a barrel roll to Manaru.
Okay.
Who then does a one bank to the left.
Ooh, I quite like this actually.
Yeah. Ditches the stress and takes a focus.
Yeah, because that puts Manaru nicely in the center. He's potentially near that. I can't tell if he's exactly in range one. It's close. But this makes you think that Mando is turning in and just staying stressed, which I could actually see being okay because you do have clan training.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's a red focus, isn't it?
Yes, it is a red focus.
Maybe he has the Force as well.
I mean, if I end up range one of him, he can Fen Rao, get rid of his stress, and then clan train to do a red focus because it's the same timing window. So you can also do it the other way as well. So we go to the fours. Cad does his 3 straight, focuses into a boost, and I would like you to just throughout this game to pay very careful attention to how many blanks Cad Bane rolls on his ion cannon.
Okay.
Spoilers, it's like 0.
Okay.
But anyway, I digress. So I move Gideon first, who does a 2 straight and takes a focus. I was going to go faster, but I kind of didn't want to be range 1 of Mando if he jumped in, not with the ties and stuff in front, because that is just going to trigger clan training.
Yeah.
Whereas I can keep them stressed, that's better. But also, I can ailerons with Sabak puts me just behind, and then a 2 straight jumps me over as well.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And I have to admit, I wasn't expecting Manaru to be where he is.
Quite
I wasn't
dangerous spot for you.
I was expecting maybe a 2 bank or something in, but I wasn't expecting the barrel roll, which means he would have been slightly closer to the board edge.
Yeah. No, that's just good use of good old Gleb.
Yeah. And I take a focus. Mando does a 2 straight. Clears the stress and takes an evade. I 5 straight again with Vader. I do afterburners boost this time.
Trigger a million actions.
Well, yeah, take a target lock, blow a force for a focus. And we go to the shooting. And it's Vader first. And Vader has a range 3 shot into Mando. So
right. Start the Vader shenanigans. Oh, that's a nice roll. We've got a crit hit focus.
Yes, crit hit focus. So I changed one to a crit with the advanced targeting computer. And then I and ah whether to spend the focus or the force here, and I end up spending the force, and I actually think that's a mistake. I think I should have spent the focus.
I think you keep the focus, spend the force here.
So the reason why I think it's a mistake is because I'm now down to 1 force, and actually I stayed there for quite a while. The only person shooting at me is Manaru. It's obstructed, and I'm not in bullseye. I've got elusive and brilliant evasion. The likelihood is I could spend 1 force for 2 focuses, which is probably more than I'd get anyway. And if I
I mean,
don't need it, then I'm back up to full force.
that is true to a certain extent. But in this case, I would say that now that you've got the lock on the Mando, you don't need as much force.
Yeah.
And I would rather keep the focus just in case Tony does roll hot on the Manaru shot.
Well, yeah. So Mando rolls trail mix. Evade, focus, blank. Spends the evade and a force for 3 evades.
Yep, makes sense.
Nice.
And then you get to reacquire your lock.
Well, I didn't spend the lock, so
Reacquire it anyway.
well, I could have reacquired it, but I'm not you, so I didn't.
No, you need. If you're more like me, you'll roll better dice.
So we then go to Cad Bane, who fires his ion cannon into the Academy tie. Oh, look, 3 focuses. Spends his focus.
I have a feeling you're going to get really salty about this.
I'm not really salty about this. I roll trail mix, evade, focus, blank, spend my evade, just take a damage. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently you don't spend your evade.
Alright.
Did you forget you had it?
Yeah, apparently I forgot I have my evade, and ion...
You even have Palp.
What?
You even have Palp.
And I had Palp as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind taking the damage. This ion actually screws me, so the fact I didn't see that evade is slightly irritating.
It's because the TIE Fighter's wings are too big. Block the token. And meanwhile, Tony's like, why is he not spending his evade? Oh well, I guess I won't say anything.
But then we go to my force, and Gideon has a range 3 shot into Manaru, so we just plink that. I spend the focus for 2 hits. Manaru gets evade, focus, blank, and opts to take the shield.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Sabak goes in and rolls 3 hits on a blank. Oh no, have I not rolled yet? No. Rolls crit, hit, blank out of hand.
Nice.
Tony rolls evade, focus. Decides, I think, not to spend the focus again. Takes a second shield so that he's got it for attack. He notoriouses me.
Oh, yeah, no, that's cool. And
here,
I think you shoot at Sabak. Mr.
Yeah, he does. So it's 3 on 2. He rolls hit, blank. Re-rolls with Notorious for a focus. Spends the focus result. I roll evade, blank. I elusive into an evade.
Just the 1 damage.
And just the 1 damage.
So Sabak is still online. That's good.
Sabak is still online. And then we forget that I lose that strain because I've defended.
Does it come up?
Well, I mean, we notice it later before she gets shot.
Right, okay.
So it's fine. Vizier has a range 3 shot onto Manaru, so I take that. And I roll 2 hits. And 1 goes through, so shields down. And then we tot up objective points. And I believe it's 2-1 to Tony.
So that means Cad Bane is not within range 1 of that bottom one?
He is, but we're contesting it.
So where's your... Oh, sorry, I see the one next to Gideon. So I was looking for the objectives.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I was
like... Yeah, I've got the one next to Gideon, and...
They were blending in with the darkness of space.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we should do a different map. Yeah, so I'm expecting Manaru to come through the gap that's right in front of him, because, I mean, he could hard turn to the left, but I don't see why you would.
Only reason you would is if you just wanted to quickly jump on Vizier.
Yeah. Maybe, but considering he's lost all his shields already...
Oh yeah, I don't think it's the most amazing idea, but like that would be the thinking behind it, I would have thought.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fully expecting something like a 5k from Mando.
Or 2 Talon, that's the other one he has, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I forgot that, because I forgot that he's got 3 different red maneuvers.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure that's quite unusual. Like, if you don't count things that say have a 4 and 5k.
Yeah.
Like, because he's got a stop, a Talon, and a K-turn.
Yeah, well, it's because the Mando's that ship was apparently amazingly good at flying.
But we roll off turn 3, and I'm first player this turn.
All right. So Sabak and Gideon go before Cad Bane.
So my little academy tie does his one bank that he didn't need to do, and damn me for not knowing my maid, and takes a focus. What?
You do use palp at some point, right?
Yeah, but not. Yeah, illegally.
Illegally. Oh boy.
So I do a 1 bank ailerons with Vizier. I don't think I coordinate here. No, I just do it. Then I do a 1 straight, and then I take a lock on. No, then I jam.
Oh, that's a jam.
I jam Manaru. That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah, just so that when he comes in, he doesn't. He's as unmodded as possible.
All right, Manaru. Bet you wish you'd overtune modulators now.
No, this is the thing. I don't know if it's this round or not. I think it might be next round, but whenever Tony does do overtune modulators, he leaves the calculator next to the card. So
right,
we'll have to just keep an eye out for that one. He does do it.
When he suddenly starts randomly changing focuses, we'll work it out.
Yeah. So then we go to the 3s, and Gamut does I think that was a 1 or 2 straight, clear the stress, and coordinates I think he coordinated a lock to Manaru to get rid of the jam.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then Manaru 1 banks onto the small rock.
Oh, that's not the direction I would have gone, but yeah, fair.
Takes a hit, rolls, takes a crit, and it's a weapons failure.
Oh. Well, Manaru, good luck.
I mean, wait until you
your
see...
sacrifice was accepted.
Wait until you see Gideon's move, because it looks stupid now.
Yeah, but who expects ships to willingly rock themselves, right?
Well, when they're not separatists, anyway.
Exactly. And let's be real, how often have I rocked myself as a separatist and then been like, well, I've screwed this up, guess I'm taking the damage?
Well, yeah. So we go to my falls, and Sabak ailerons straight, and then does the 1 sloop to set up
that's a spicy move.
Well, I thought he was coming down that route anyway, but not on the rock. So
yeah,
that for me, that was always the move to do. But yeah,
honestly, I really wish you'd coordinated Sabak target lock now.
I wasn't sure I was in range.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't. It would have been close.
Is the issue? But I have recharged my elusive.
Yes, that's true.
Gideon does a 4K right in front of.
That's unfortunate.
Because I was actually expecting a semi-fast straight maneuver to try and block. So
yeah, I know it makes sense. Like from my perspective, if I was playing in Tony's, like man, probably just does like I don't know whatever the slowest straight is. I guess I don't know.
I was concerned
maybe he would have clipped the debris.
Well, that's it. I was concerned that straight clips the debris, so I thought he had to go fast enough to jump the other side of it.
Yeah.
But hey, I take a stress. Cad
not like Manaru could do anything.
No, Cad does a 2 straight, I think, to sit behind the TIE fighter and takes a focus.
All right, and run that boy down.
And there is a Talon roll from Mando.
Oh boy.
No contraband this turn. Oh no, does contraband this turn and takes a focus.
He did contraband, takes a focus. You remembered the strain from Pure Sabak. That's good to know.
Yep, that's that gone. Vader does a 3 straight because I wasn't expecting the Talon. So I thought I'd have a bit more distance. But hey. And then I have a quick look around because I know I'm getting shot this turn. Like, I don't want to say you can waste actions on Vader, but you can be a little bit more free with your actions than you would on other ships. So I'm contemplating a barrel roll to the right to try and get out a bullseye. So that
that makes sense
at least brilliant evasion is online.
Does Palp have a range as well? I forget.
Nope, Palp has no range.
Okay. I was just thinking like maybe get in range for Palp. If that has no range, that's good. Yeah, I would just try and dodge the bullseye so you can put brilliant evasion on.
So I take a focus, and then I spend a force for a barrel roll.
Yeah.
Which I think does dodge the bullseye.
Yeah, it looks like it does.
But I shoot first, so range 1. I roll
target lock in.
3 hits out of hand. So change 1 to a crit. Fire control system, the other one into a blank. So hit, crit. Tony rolls 2 blanks.
Oof.
So, you could you can't trigger Mando because he's not in 2 arcs, so ignore me. So takes the 2 shields and a crit, and the crit is
it 2 arcs in the front or just 2 arcs in general?
I think he needs to be in 2 front. 2. Oh no, he is in 2 arcs actually.
He's in Vizier's arc, isn't he?
Yeah. So he could have triggered his ability there and spent a force or a focus. Because he's in 2 front arcs. Is there a range on it?
I think it's like 1 to 2.
Oh, maybe Vizier's out of 2.
Like I said, I think it is. Like, you know what? With the Mando cards being what they are, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just like infinite range.
Infinite range. Well, you do spend
if you're in the front arc at range
2.
1 to 2 of 2 or more enemy ships.
I mean, that would have been worth a look, I think.
Yeah. I think you're out of range 2 of Vizier there.
But yeah, let's keep an eye on the thing, see if I put the crit. Nope, forget to put whatever crit that is. Oh, no! It's because it's 2, it was a direct hit. He's down to 5.
Okay. Did Tony Fenrau his stress away?
I think he might have, actually, because I can't see it there. He's engaging now, and it looks like it's gone, because I'm pretty sure it was behind the ship. So I'm guessing yes, he did. I know he Fenrau at least once, so
yeah.
Because then he was talking about clan training, but he's already focused. He rolls range 1. Rolls. Oh, I don't know, but Spencer's focus for rolls
3 hits and a crit.
Rolls crit, focus, blank. Fearless is the blank. Spends the focus for 3 and a crit.
Nice.
I roll 2 evades and a blank. I elusive for a 3rd evade. So
nice.
take a shield. Nothing from Gideon. Sabak has the range 1 into Manaru. It is obstructed, but that's still 5 dice. I roll hit, crit, blank. Manaru rolls 2 evades, so takes another crit, except it shouldn't be taking another crit because
no, I think Manaru is in Sabak's bullseye, so no enduring.
Fair enough. So that crit sneaks.
Although could take a red focus if you wanted to.
The crit goes through, and it is wounded pilot.
You put stunned pilot there.
Oh, so yeah, sorry, stun pilot. I was reading the card and then not the overlay. Yeah, stunned.
Manaru is not having a good day. Is
stunned pilot. Cad goes range 1 ion cannon. Then changes his mind and goes range 1 primary.
Yeah, I was going to say you primary here.
And rolls 3 focuses. Are you detecting the lack of blanks?
Yeah, but you know what? He's also not rolling hits.
Yeah, that's not really the point. I roll blank eyeball. So
ooh.
I'm a dead. I elusive it? No. Why do I re-roll?
I don't know. I think he just changed it. I think he meant to go to change it.
But it's fine. He's dead. That's 2 points.
Because if you were elusiving, I don't know why you would be elusiving the focus.
Yeah, I know. Oh, no, I know what it was. Tony Zuckest me.
Oh, he Zuckest you?
Yeah, he Zuckest me.
Oh, he didn't get rid of his stress?
Well, I'm dead, aren't I?
Yeah, but you're alive long enough for him to pitch the stress over to you.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, because it's not instant death, is it? It's initiative stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. That might have been us just misremembering.
Possibly.
But we go to the threes.
So
And
Gamma.
Gamut plinks a shot into Vader.
Nice.
Rolls nothing.
Doesn't do anything. I mean, good old Gamma doing what you do.
He does that a lot this game.
You know what I should have yelled?
What?
And you should have yelled, disciplined!
It's range 0 to 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I would have checked range.
I'm reasonably confident that Gideon's not in range.
I mean, so am I, but this is like your one chance to get it, damn it.
Also, is it an action?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm stressed.
I know, but it might say the talent might say even well stressed. For all I know, it's an Imperial card. They're good.
All right, fair. Then we go to Vizier, who has a range 2. I think it is just shot into Manaru. But I actually opt for the range, and it is range 2. Range 2 into Mando.
Ooh.
Because I want to try.
So Mando could have been.
Could have used his ability.
Yeah. I've just looked at discipline, by the way. It is an action, and you also couldn't have triggered it off the academy tie because you need
it's limited, isn't it? Or someone with discipline.
or has the disciplined upgrade.
Yeah. But yeah, Vizier rolls into Mando and rolls 1 crit, which goes through.
Hey.
And it is a damaged engine.
You know what he should have done? Use his ability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he rolled 2 blanks, and yeah. Come on, Tony. The Mando has a powerful ability.
So now we spend ages marking and unmarking Manaru to try and get to the objective underneath him to check range 1, and we can't. Because basically we need to work out whether Mando is range 1 or not. Because if he's not, it's mine. If he is,
you should have checked. You should have checked range 1 from Mando.
That would have been a better way of doing it. But instead, we just pull out a range ruler, and it's
looks like he's range 1.
I say it's close, but I give it to him.
I would say should check range 1 from Mando. Yeah. Because I don't think you're getting any special information from that.
No.
So that could have been useful.
So that means once again the objectives are 2-1 in Tony's favour. So we're 6-2 at the moment because obviously I've lost a tie.
Yeah, but Mando's
this is it.
Manaru's hurting.
It's at this point I'm not sure the objectives are now my win condition. I think killing the 2 big ships is.
Yeah. Especially because if Mando is either going straight or is stressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I see a stress icon on him, but whatever.
Well, no. But he's got a damaged engine. I suppose he could bank. But he's got to bank somewhere that he's got to bank fast enough that he gets past Vader.
Yeah.
So. Right, then we'll come to the interesting stuff and see if the stuff that works logically in my head actually works as I think it is, or if I just spent this entire game cheating. But I think it does, so we're all good. I mean, yeah, Manaru's on 3, Mando's got 4 left. If I kill both of those, that's 12 points.
Yeah. Has Tony at least recovered all of his force?
I think so, yes.
Okay, cool.
So we roll off. And it's back to Tony being first player. And we jump straight in at I2 with Vizier. And this might be the turn, actually. I think that he... I'll think of it in a minute when I look at the overlay. Overture modulators?
Yeah, it would make sense.
In fact, I definitely think it is this turn.
I mean, he has like 1 turn left of life as far as I'm concerned.
So, we go to Vizier, who aileron straight.
Oh, nice.
Coordinates a barrel roll to Vader.
Nice, because that gets in the way of Mando's move.
And then 1 banks to the left, bumping into... Mando, and then takes a red focus.
No spicy force action from Vader?
So, no. So my logic here is obviously, Vizier's card is after you ailerons, you may perform a coordinate if you do skip your perform action step. But the bump rules are skip your perform action step and perform a red focus. So if I'm skipping my perform action step anyway, that's irrelevant. Surely you still then can perform the red focus.
You know what? I don't know. I feel like I'd have to look at the rules. I feel like Viziers might just trump the bump rules.
But I'm not doing the action in my
Yeah.
perform action step, and all Vizier says is skip your perform action step.
Like I'd have to scour through the rules reference to find that one out.
But well, that's what I was going with, and Tony seemed to agree with me, so we did it. Yeah, because I think that works. So yeah, that gives him a focus. Then we go to the threes. And Manu does a 2 hard to the left. And repairs his weapons failure.
Okay.
Manu bumps. Technically bumps actually into Mando.
You mean Gamut bumps?
Sorry, Gamut bumps into Mando. But the template was Vizier. So it's a enemy bump. But it's still stress. I can't do the red focus, but no rolling for damage.
Yeah.
So then we go to Tony's first player, so it will be Cad, who does a hard turn and stays stressed. Now here's a mistake. I dialed in a 3 straight, which is fine. Jumps over Manaru. And I barrel roll to the right to try and get out of arc. And I mean, it's close, but I think I would have been better off just taking the evade. Because
yeah, you're probably right.
With Palp, I'm effectively evade calculate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would have been the better call. But hey, I do the barrel roll. I go backwards. I realise it's not out of arc. No ailerons for Sabak. Stressed. And then a nice one bank to sit right behind. Oh no, was that a bump? No, I didn't press a bump. It was a bump. And take a red focus. And I'm not sure why I took the red focus there. I was worried about.
I mean, if Mando's done something you weren't expecting,
but I think
you don't want to just be sitting
anything,
there, right?
anything short of a 3 bank bumps into Vader, and I'm reasonably sure that a 3 bank would have taken the arc past me.
Yeah, but like if he does bump into Vader, like in a smaller bank maneuver, I think you have happy little maneuvers next turn with Pure Sabak. I'd just take the focus and just risk, like, what if Gamut suddenly plinks some damage through, right?
Yeah. And actually, to be fair, being stressed does help me a lot on the next turn.
Yeah, because you don't have to boost.
Because I don't have to boost. So there's a 5k from Mando.
Yeah,
jumps over the side.
Wait, how did he 5k?
He's got a 5k.
No, so he did Fenrir out the stress.
Yeah, he Fenrir out the stress, and then 5k'd.
Okay.
And then Vader dials in a 3 Talon. And look how close that was to Gamut.
Yeah, that is very close.
When Gamut came there, I was like, oh god, I'm blocked. That's going to be a disaster. But no, it fits. I go in, I pattern analyzer a focus, and then I afterburners boost. Because at this point, I've got enough health that I want to just start putting those crits through onto Mando. And I was slightly concerned where I was because of the angle as well, that it might have been range 3. And I don't...
I mean, honestly, isn't range 3 better for you because then he can't Mando it?
He can't Mando at range 2 either.
Yes, he can.
Oh, sorry, you mean his
defensive ability?
Yeah, I didn't think he was range 2 of Vizier.
I mean, maybe Vizier's out, yeah.
And I'd rather have him have that ability that he's then spending his force than, because that's his only mod, than having the extra dice and just natting his way out of it.
Yeah, true.
Like, he's got no shields. I've got the lock, so I'm rolling the extra dice. If I get 3 results, then I'm guaranteeing something going through.
And I'm guessing you're out of range for clan training. Otherwise, he just
yeah
pitches he pitches the stress and then clan trains.
Yeah, I didn't think it would boost into range 1, so and we go, and it is range 2. And I roll hit, focus, crit. So change the hit to a crit. Spend a force for hit, crit, crit. And he rolls evade, focus, spends a force, takes a crit.
Yep,
the crit is a structural damage.
Oof. So Vizier's shot's going to be quite spicy.
But it is Mando's turn. He takes the range 2 back into Vader, rolls 2 hits. I roll evade, focus, blank. Oh no, I don't. I hadn't finished rolling. I roll 2 evades. Happy days. Happy days. Nothing.
Darth Vader doing what Anakin literally cannot ever do.
Yeah, I know, right? When
Roll
I fly,
evades.
when I fly Jedi, they just die. When I fly Sith, apparently they're all right. So nothing from Cad. So we go to Pure Sabak, who has the range 0 shot. When I get my dice. Oh, this is me looking at the rules reference. So I technically cheat next, but it's irrelevant. I roll focus, focus, blank. And what we were looking at were the palp rules, or trying to find the palp rules for range 0. Because I knew that on the forums, or I think the rules reference, there's a question against Padme's ability. And she stops you modifying more than one focus result, and they've ruled that you can modify a second one with Palpatine because it's Palpatine doing the modding, not that ship. And we were trying to work out whether you can do that for range 0 because it's not the attacking ship modding the dice; it's something else. We end up doing it for one result, and Tony rolls an evade anyway. So it's neither here nor there, but I did actually look in the scour through the rules reference afterwards when we had a bit more time, and it does actually say that the attacker's dice cannot be modified. So
yeah, even by the defender.
Yeah, so
and that is quite key sometimes.
So that's useful to know for future reference that anything that's another ship will not do it.
So I just found out what I think would be the ruling on Vizier's ability, by the way. Because overlap, it says, if the overlapped ship was an enemy ship, if it is not stressed, it may immediately perform a focus or thingy from its action bar, then skips a perform action step. So I'd imagine you would be able to do it the way you want to. Because the way I thought it might be was because, yes, it does say skip the form action step, but if I would have thought if the action is done after you've done this, then the Vizier might just preclude doing any more actions.
Okay, but
so I think
gets in before. It gets in.
Yeah,
before.
It gets in before.
Fair. So yeah, that was that shot, which luckily did nothing, so it doesn't affect at all. Then I randomly hit some wrong things and start doing hidden boxes and stuff for giggles.
Style points.
Manaru has the range 1 shot into Gideon.
Oof.
4 dice because it's out the front.
Yeah.
And has calculates.
We assume.
Luckily, rolls eyeball hit 2 blanks. Spends
a calculate.
Spends a calculate for 2 hits. I roll evade, focus, blank. I elusive the focus into a blank. So I take a damage.
That's not too bad.
No, I'm fine with that. Gamut does a range 3 shot into Sabak. And rolls focus blank.
Yeah. So so back on the focus for Sabak, even though that completely whiffed, I still think just taking the better chance to just not take damage, especially at this point when Tony is technically ahead.
Yeah.
And his ships are on the verge of death, but if you start bleeding ships, it's going to get harder to do that.
Yeah. And then it's Vizier's shot. I go into Mando at range 2. So could have Mando triggered if he needed to.
This is Tony. Check ranges of your ships. Check your abilities. Use them, and even if it doesn't look like it's range 2.
I roll a hit, focus. I spend my focus for 3 hits. He rolls 2 focuses, burns both force, takes 1 damage, and then gets a force back. So that at the end of that turn, I believe it was actually 2-1 to me, because I believe Mando's just out of range 1 of that top one. Where's it?
And I think Manaru's got the bottom one, and I think Cad has one. But
maybe it's 2. Maybe it's 2. Yeah, 2-1 to Tony. Yeah, 2-1 to Tony, because it's 8-3 at the moment.
Yeah.
But I say, I'm like, that's only a 5-point difference for me. Manaru equals that. Mando outstretches it. Mando's got 2 health and a damaged engine and a structural damage and is stressed. Like, admittedly, so's Vader, which isn't ideal, but...
Yeah, but Vader has better options than quite a lot of things here.
And Manaru takes 2 strains from Overtuned.
Whee!
So I'm like, this is quite nice, because that ship's got to go forwards. I've got a striker right behind it that is stressed, so can just do a 1 straight, which won't leave me at range 0. Manaru's got a strain. Like, yeah, I'm reasonably confident I can kill Manaru this time. But I'm very confident I can kill him. I think even if Cad gets first player and takes the damage through to shut down Sabac's ability, I think I've got...
What's the fastest K turn that Manaru can do?
5?
Yeah, that's where I'd be on Manaru.
Let's look at Yaz. Yeah, that's where we're going. Trapmaster 4.
Yeah, I think I would 4K with Manaru. Just accept death, hope you get a shot.
Fair.
Or I would try and turn into the center, getting in Cad's way technically. But just, at the minute, Tony's on the score as many objective points as you can train, and hope. I feel.
Yeah. Whereas my win conditions are finish off those 2 big ships.
Yeah.
Like, even if I lose, so long as if I lose 1 ship and kill both of them, I'm ahead. Even if it was, Vader actually would be a draw. But where ships are, the likelihood of Vader dying is reasonably.
Well, I don't know. Yamaki is a true hero.
So we roll off, and Tony is first player for turn 5, and there are 20 minutes left on the clock. So
time to engage slow play.
Yeah, it is Vizier first. I know a lot of the times, especially in things like the GSP competitions, we hide the clock. But when I'm playing, for the podcast, because I have the timer on the overlay so that people watching on YouTube can see how much time's left as we're going through, I feel it's a bit unfair to then say to my opponent, no, we've got to hide the clock in the game. So yeah, it's just fair to leave it on. So we go to Vizier. Oh no, we don't. We do system phase. And system phase, I drop a seismic with...
So I did wonder if you'd go for that, because Vader is there.
I'm aware of that, and I know he's lost 2 shields, but honestly, I think it's worth it to only have to get 1 through on Mando.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah. So we're going to Vizier, and Vizier does a 3 bank. And I did that because I wanted to jump over Vader. I wonder actually whether just doing a 1 straight blue, ditching the stress and accepting I roll for a damage may have been a better call.
Maybe. I mean, it gets rid of the stress, right? And keeps you central. And
a 3 bank doesn't.
Keeps... no, I was in the 1 straight.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And it would keep you within range 1 of that objective.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not 100% sure you are at the minute.
So yeah, that in hindsight, because I just wanted to... It was the only maneuver I could do that didn't fly me off the board next turn. And I was just like... Yeah, no, I think just accept the self bump. I've got 6 health and 2 shields, and there's 20 minutes left. I could probably afford to lose the 1 shield, and even
I was literally about to say, is like, I mean, you couldn't have known that the bomb was going to be dropped there, and I was like, actually, no, he could have. He dropped the bomb.
yeah, losing the
Yeah.
2 shields, like the likelihood of taking the 6
Yeah.
damage is possible.
Yeah, no. What I meant was like, if you do the 1 straight, clear the stress, bump into Vader, roll for damage, whatever. But with I was about to say, but and then with the rock gone, you can then quite happily bank in, turn in,
Yeah,
where that rock was, and then I was about to say, but you couldn't have known the bomb was going to be there, except you can because you dropped the bomb.
yeah. But hey, that's why we look at these.
Here we are. I mean, Palpa's still there, so
Exactly. So we go to initiative 3, and a 3 straight jump forwards for Gamut.
I don't dislike that, to be honest.
No, gets him into that objective, puts him on the tail of the striker.
Yeah, because if Manaru has done like a small maneuver and the striker stays bumped, that's quite spicy.
And he coordinates, I think it was a focus to Manaru. He puts something
So
on.
Manaru must be doing a K-turn or something,
He puts
then,
something,
right?
He puts something on Manaru's card.
Yeah.
Oh no, Manaru takes a lock onto Sabak.
Then he's definitely doing a K-turn. I refuse to believe that there is not a K-turn. God damn it.
And then Manaru 1 straight.
Why, Tony? Why the lock?
Because he gets rid of one of the strains.
Does he rotate the arc?
And then he focuses into a rotate.
Good lord. I mean, double modded. I guess that's fine.
Double modded. Range 1. Cad just does a bank in and takes a focus.
I like that.
I 4K with Gideon. Because I thought Tony would go slow. So
yeah, no, that's fair. Like my gut reaction is for Tony to go fast here, but I'm wrong.
And then I 1 straight and I take a focus with Sabak. So yeah. Then we go to Mando, who does a 1 straight and bumps into the Reaper. I don't think he takes the red focus.
He has the Force. He doesn't really need to.
I 2 bank with Vader past that. Kind of wish that the Razor Crest wasn't in where it was because I can't barrel roll out of the bomb's range.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
So I actually just moved my lock onto Manaru because I think he's in arc. See if I can just kill him at I6.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe go for Gamut just because he's definitely in arc. Or if you're going to go for Manaru, I would have maybe considered barrel rolling closer.
Gamut's not in my arc.
No. Just for the next turn because like in my head, Manaru is probably dying to like Sabak.
I didn't want to barrel roll in because a barrel roll in puts me into Gamut's arc at range 1.
Yeah,
and like Vader's was just more of a shot of opportunity. If he kills him, great. If not, I've got the range 1 striker shot. Probably a range 1 or 2 Gideon damage shot. Like Manaru dies this turn.
Yeah. Like, I'm assuming Manaru dies, which is why I was like, maybe just take the lock onto Gamut and set up Vader for next turn.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, you'll see why I don't in a minute because Gamut's not my target.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go. Oh, and then I force for a focus just to try and push it through.
Just for some spice. And then you forget that the bomb goes off before you start shooting as you measure Vader's range.
We do forget the bomb goes off, but we get to it quick enough. So yeah, I've got a range 3 shot into Manaru. So I take the range 3 shot into Manaru. I roll 3 blanks.
Honestly, at this point, spend the lock.
I spend the lock.
Yeah.
And I roll 2 blanks and a eyeball.
Way hey.
So I spend the focus for 1 hit, which I'm a little sad about because it's taken the strain away. But
yeah,
I mean, 5 blanks from 6 dice is statistically unlikely, so I still think it was the right call to shoot.
Oh yeah.
Rolls 2 evades, so nothing's happening there.
Happy doodly.
Then we remember the bomb.
He doesn't notorious you.
He doesn't notorious me. Gamut takes a shield. Vader takes his last shield. The Reaper takes a shield. And Mando is down to 1.
Gets a force back.
Does he? I thought that was. Is it take damage or enemy?
Pretty sure it's just damage.
Fair enough. Gets a full. I think he's at full force anyway. So
Yeah, I'm just saying triggers out loud so that if Tony does listen
fair.
to this, he's got to, because you're missing your triggers, man.
So Mando takes the range 0 shot into Vizier.
You're right. It is FD defend.
Never mind. And rolls crit hit eyeball. And I roll 2 of 8.
Okay.
So then we go to the falls. And now, importantly, it is Tony first player. So Cad gets to shoot first and shoots into Sabak with his ion cannon.
Yeah, makes sense. It's because as long as he gets damage through, he turns off Sabak's ability. He rolls focus, crit. Happy days.
Focus, crit with a focus. So I believe that's at least 9 dice straight paint so far.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't taken a target lock once. And
not sounding salty at all.
And has had 3 results every single time. I mean, come on. One blank in there. Wouldn't kill him. I roll focus blank. I elusive. Oh no, he succuses me to reroll the focus into a blank, which is fine. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I actually that makes sense.
Why? Oh, I suppose it would have stopped the ion, but
yeah.
And then Cad's it over. So I do Gideon first.
Yeah, because I like that Zuckus trigger because you would have elusived the blank, right? Rather than him. And when he Zuckuses your focus into a blank, it means that even if you get one result, the ion's still going through.
Yeah.
So I quite like that one.
Which is why I didn't elusive it in the end. Cause,
yeah.
So yeah, Gideon has a range 1 shot and it's damage, so it's 4 dice in the TIE Fighter. And I roll.
Nice.
I roll 3 hits on an eyeball and I palp the eyeball for 4 hits.
Yay!
Mando rolls evade blank and dies.
Manaru is dead.
And then I was hoping that Sabak would have had a shot onto Cad, but not quite. So that's fine. So yeah, that is Manaru gone and 5 points. So we're 8 apiece at the moment, which is nice. Gamut gets a shot, range 2 into Sabak. Rolls hit. He cutthroat the stress away as well. Because
nice. Right. I mean, yeah, why not?
I roll focus, evade blank. I elusive into a focus and spend the focus for 2. So happy days.
Happy days indeed.
And then it's just the range 0 shot from Vizier into Mando. I roll hit, 1 hit and some other results, and he evades.
All right, the Mando lives. And so when did Gamut? When did Gamut last use his pilot ability?
Oh, like zonks ago.
Okay, cool. Tony, why didn't you use it to prevent all that strain going onto Manaru?
Yeah, that's a good point. That would have been a good trigger for it.
I mean, I don't think it would have helped, but actually, well, maybe it. No, it wouldn't have helped, would it? But
well, who knows?
Who knows, indeed.
So then we check objectives, and unfortunately, Mando is not range 1.
Yeah, that looks. Yeah.
So I bag that top one.
And I think Sabak ties with. It looks like he ties with Cad, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's just Sabak.
Cad is just out. So it is 2-1 to me on objectives.
So the Imperials are up.
The Imperials
10 minutes to go, and a 1 health Mando.
Yes. So I'm going after Mando all day long here.
Yeah. And if I'm Mando 5 straights.
Yeah, run away! Run away! So we roll off for turn 6, and I'm first player. Which is interesting, actually, and I think probably useful for me, because I can just one bank to the left with the striker and try and block Cad.
Yeah.
But it is Vizier first, and Vizier does a 1 straight, stays exactly where he is.
Bumpity bumps.
Doesn't take the red focus.
Yep, makes sense.
Namely because if I need to hard 2 let next turn, it's red. So
Yeah.
Gamut, I think that's a 1 straight.
Yeah, that looks like a 1 straight to me.
And coordinates. And coordinates
Ooh.
CAD a focus into a barrel roll.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I like that quite a bit.
You like it now.
Yeah, but like I like it because based on the information you have at the time, now that you know that CAD is going second, like if there is, I assume a 1 bank there, that lines him up quite nicely to get what he might want.
So we go to my falls, and I do the striker first, who does a 1 bank with the eye on and takes a focus, and then I 2 bank with Gideon to remove the stress, and then barrel roll because I assumed that Cad's coming in, so if he's shooting at Sabak, let's get a shot in the side of him.
Yeah.
And then Cad 3 straights.
Okay, that's not what I would have
done. Which bumps into Gideon, shoots his arc past Sabak, and then leaves me a range 1 shot. So yeah.
Darn. I mean, you know what? Cad might be able to randomly take out Gideon, and that'd be okay. But yeah. Oh, hello, Mando. What are you doing there?
Yeah, too hard from Mando. Too hard.
I mean, to be fair, I bet you didn't see it coming.
And then he takes a target lock.
And probably didn't see that one coming either.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't have seen that one coming because he's got a damaged engine.
So it should be red.
Be red. But it's fine because here comes Vader with another spicy Talon roll. I love pattern analyzer Vader. It's so much fun. So I barrel roll to the left to get out of Mando's arc. I spend a force to reacquire a lock. I spend a force for a focus, and then I take a stress.
Jesus Christ!
For a range 1, 4 dice into 1 dice.
Yeah, that's it.
I roll hits
pretty terribly.
Hit 2 blanks and an eyeball. I change the crit. To be fair, I didn't need to anyway because the 3 results is I fire control the blank, spend the focus. That must have been an eyeball, not a blank. It must have been on a tilt. For hit crit. Just realised he didn't even roll 1 less dice. So completely forgetting the crits.
Crits don't exist if you just ignore them.
But I still put that last damage through. That kills Mando and puts me 17-9 in the lead.
Yeah, I think you got this one. I mean, unless some spicy dice come out.
So Gideon range 0s and does nothing. Sabak range 1s into Cad and rolls 4 results after a focus spend. Cad rolls 1 evade, takes 3. He does nothing back to Gideon. Gamut.
Pause it at the end of this shot. Gamut, come on, man, roll some results.
Yeah, Gamut roll. I mean, every single bar 1 that Gamut rolled was focus blank, and 1 was 2 hits. The problem was Gamut was never modded.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get that's not.
I mean, that is just the life of Gamut.
No, exactly. I get that's not his job, but then by the same extent, you can't really expect him to put damage through.
No. But I do like the duality of Cad Bane never misses, Gamut Key never hits.
Yeah. And at that point, I score 1 objective. And
wait, Vizier is seriously not at range 1 of that objective?
Vizier is not at range 1. But
he was a second ago.
but Vader...
He didn't move.
Well, I know. But we went by the chat. Well, I mean, the problem is he did. Yeah. And he not...
shunted, didn't he?
Yeah, he's not... saying it may have... I don't know. Maybe he was in by a pixel, out by a pixel. But we went by the chat both times. So yeah, Vader and Gamut contest. I score 1. It's 18-9. 3 minutes on the clock. Tony calls it. Which is...
Don't blame him there.
I mean, all I do now is run away and claim a couple of objectives, so... Yeah, we talked about it, like, I think Tony's biggest mistake in that game was where he chose... Or, not where he chose, but where he chose / let the engagement happen. because I was able to pin him into the corner, and even if Manu hadn't landed on that rock, Manu is kind of tied into going through that gap.
Yeah.
What I said to him is, if I was him, I would have set up on, as we're looking at it, the left-hand side, his right, with at least both his big ships, and probably Gamut as well, and then just come fast down that edge, because I'd already set up the tie on the right-hand side, and I would have set up Vizier as well. So he knows I can't joust him with my entire list, and I'm not entirely sure I win a joust.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yes, you both have heavy hitting attacks, but Tony just has a lot more health.
Exactly. So if he'd set up on that side and shot forward into the big gap, he's got much more freedom. And there are still the two objectives there, and that bottom right one that you can kind of circle the large and medium bases around, picking up every turn.
Yeah.
And then I've got to come to him.
Yeah, for me, I think Tony's mistake is he just engaged you in piecemeal almost. Like he had Manaru versus Pure Sabak and Gideon and Mandalorian, not really versus Vader, because yes, he got a shot or two in, but it was mostly just Vader pumping damage in with Vizier helping.
Yeah.
Yes. I think Cad Bane did exactly what he needed to. It's just it wasn't enough with Manaru not really doing anything.
Yeah, Cad did what he wanted to, but I'd argue against the wrong ship.
Well, so I could guess that I think deploying Cad to take out the Academy pilot and score 2 points is fine. The problem is he just needed if Manaru had done literally anything.
Yeah.
I think he would have been okay. If Manaru had traded for Pure Sabak, this is potentially a very different game.
Yeah.
I don't mean traded in that last turn. I mean traded earlier. Basically had the range one shot, because when Pure Sabak did a one sloop.
Yeah.
And when Manaru was on the rock, if Manaru had traded shots there.
Yeah.
But he just didn't. He got 2-3 shots off the entire game.
Yeah, even if you shoot past and just focus into a rotate or lock into a rotate, yes, you're not getting the extra dice, but at least you're throwing some dice.
Yeah. But I think Gamut did exactly what Gamut is supposed to do. He coordinated ships when they needed it. I think Cad Bane did exactly what he was supposed to do on the tin. He saw that there was an isolated ship, went and killed it. Yes, it was only an Academy pilot, but sometimes you just need to send a ship to kill that Academy pilot.
Yeah.
Because if you let it go, because the Academy pilot didn't end up scoring any points, I believe.
It didn't score any points, but it did contest it twice. So
yeah, contest it twice. But my reasoning here is if that Academy, all the Academy pilot effectively did was delay Cad from getting in, but I think it's the same reason sending if it is sending an Anakin after a Vulture droid. You just go up, kill the Vulture droid, and get gone.
Yeah, that's true. Well, guys, on that note, we shall wrap it up for this week. Thanks very much for listening.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. We've been getting more Scum recently.
Yeah. Tony's flying quite a bit of Scum at the moment, so
yeah,
it'd be interesting. When you guys listen to this, it will be 1 week into our upcoming Duos event. So, if you've not got anything on next weekend, pop down to Cornwall, come play some X-Wing with us. Be a good laugh.
Yeah. I mean, especially it's Duos. And you know what? In the spirit of my playing, Sean, there's an Electro Proton Bomb in my list.
Is there? Excellent.
There is. And will it hinder my ally? Will it help my enemy? Who knows?
Yeah. All the details are on our Facebook page, so have a look. We will be back next week. I'll just say goodbye.
Yeah, ta-ta from me.